Hi, I'm Mr. Miller. I'll be your pre-calculus teacher this year. Every day when you come to my class, I want to check to make sure you have your lanyard with your ID on it, and I'll probably give you a piece of paper for something to do. I also usually ask you a little math question right before you come in. Don't worry, if you don't know the answer, we'll help you out.
As you come into my class, you'll notice we don't have desks, we have tables. I won't assign you a seat, I will assign you a table. Then you'll have to figure out where you sit from there.
We're going to be working off the smart board, the overhead screen, and for those of you who sit over here at table 1, I'll have my computer screen turned around so you can see that as well. Also, if you're curious as to what we'll be doing for the day, right over here is my agenda. After today's lesson, the student will be able to. And today's lesson, if we have time, is going to be recognize squares and cubes.
Now today, the first thing we're going to do is the student parent acknowledgement form and the classroom guidelines. There's a spot here for you to fill in your name. You should be a 12th grader, the period, and then you're going to sign that you have read these classroom procedures. Okay? I'm not going to ask your parents to sign it. I'm going to collect this off you the day that I give it to you, the day that you come into the classroom. I'm also going to ask you some other information, your home cell phone number and stuff down here. If you're a senior, do you need this class to graduate? That's important to know. Math course you completed last year, teacher. Like if you went to Spanish River and your math teacher last year was Mr. Tufo, put down Mr. Tufo. I know him. Any sports, anything clubs you're involved in, extracurriculars. Are you working? If you are, where? And how many hours a week? How many hours a week? We'll talk about money a lot in this class. Do you plan to attend college? I hope you do. And what do you want to be when you grow up? Career possibilities. And then I'm going to ask you about dual enrollment. You're going to hear me saying those two words a lot. Dual enroll. Dual enroll. Then on the back, these are the classroom procedures and whatnot.
Now, I was asked by administration to read this out loud to all my classes. So the following school-wide policies are in effect this school year. Cell phones should be turned off and kept inside a pocket, book bag, purse, or similar container. And it may not be used or allowed to emit any ring or other noise. Unauthorized use of your cell phone will result in the device being confiscated and the administrative detention. You'll get an administrative detention if you get caught with your cell phone. Failure to serve the detention or repetitive infractions will result in ISS, that's in-school suspension, or further disciplinary actions. Students are also expected to wear the student ID badges at all times on a lanyard. It can't be on your belt. Around your neck while on campus. Students must have their badges and lanyards on before entering campus. ID badges will be needed to leave campus early, entry into games and events, to purchase lunch, etc. You're going to need this badge to do a lot of stuff. When a student is found not wearing their badge, they will be required to immediately have a replacement badge made for them. Students will be charged $5 for a replacement badge. IDs will indicate the students' names, pictures, and grade levels. In a light of recent events, wearing your badge every day will be mandatory for every student to ensure the safety of everyone on campus.
Tardy policy, students are expected to be inside their classroom when the tardy bell is finished ringing. If you are not inside the room, you will be considered tardy and you will receive a tardy pass. Students arriving at school late report to visitor check-in by the front gates to receive entry into school. Students late at any other point during the day report to student services to receive their tardy pass. Tardies 1 through 5 will result in a pass to class. Tardies 6 through 10, you will receive a Thursday after school detention. and 11 or more will result in ISS and a loss of extracurricular privileges. Olympic Heights students are expected to familiarize themselves with the dress code and dress accordingly. Teachers will do a daily check of the students during the first 5 minutes of the school day and send the non-compliant students to student services. Students will be required to call home for other clothing if they are found to be in violation. Once a student is appropriately attired, they will be sent back to class. Progressive discipline will be followed with the students who do not respect the dress code policy.
This is my classroom procedures. So you come to class prepared, listen, act appropriately, stay seated until you have permission to get up, and show respect to others. When the tardy bell rings, be in the class. If you are tardy, go get a tardy pass. No food or drink except for water. No food or drink except for water is permitted in class. School dress code will be strictly enforced. Cell phones. This is from the old days, man. iPod, MP3, all other electronic devices may not be seen or heard. They will be confiscated and turned into administration. If
I got some big rules here, classroom rules. Number 1 rule, no sleeping. If you're that tired, go to the nurse. Go home. You shouldn't be asleep in class. Number 2, no phone or buzz. If I see the buzz, I'll tell you to take them out. T is less than 10 minutes on the bathroom pass. If you got to go to the bathroom and it's going to take you longer than 10 minutes, get a pass to the nurse. That's not appropriate to the other students who are waiting to use the bathroom pass. Not allowed to use the bathroom first 15 or last 15 minutes of class. And no teacher on campus should be letting you use the bathroom during period 5. Testing rules, no talking, no phones. If you finish early, you may get a pass to the media center, career center, or other classroom. You need a pass though, you can't just go. If you're absent, please make up the test in a reasonable amount of time. You'll also lose the curve. There is a curve on every test and quiz. So if you show up that day that the test is given, you get a 9-point bonus. If you show up the day the quiz is given, you get a 12 out of 10. You get an extra 2 points on the day the quiz is given, extra 9 points on the day that the test is given.
So now we're going to discuss my syllabus, pre-calculus honor syllabus. That's the math office phone number, 852-6900. This is my cell number. Yeah, I give out my cell number. Not too many people call it or text it. 561-350-8332. There's my email. It's usually best to email me. I also have a YouTube presence, MILLEJ38. At Olympic Heights, we have a tier grading system. For my class, assessments will be 60%. Assessments include quizzes and tests. Every other week there's a quiz. Every other week there's a test. You'll have a test or a quiz every week. The curve on the test is 109 out of 100. So if you show up the day of the test, you can get 109 points on that test. If you skip the test and then try to come in at a later date and take the test later, you won't get the curve. It's always best to take the test the day I give it. There was a floor on the test. The lowest I'll put in the grade book is a 50. If you tank it and get like a 20%, I won't put a 20% in. I'll put a 50 in for you. Quizzes, a very brief look at calculus. That's every 2 weeks. Again, every other week. The curve on the quiz is 12 out of 10. The floor, the lowest I'll put in the grade book for your quiz score. Let's say you only get 2 right. The lowest grade I'll put in the grade book is a 6. You cannot fail the quizzes. Even if you're not here, I'll put in a 6. The journal is 30% of your grade. If you don't do the journal, you won't do well in the class.
Journal's this little pamphlet. It's kind of cute. And we work on it. Some of it will be like a homework assignment. I'll send you a video through YouTube to go ahead and complete the journal. And if you take college algebra, you will probably be needing this material. If you're going to go on and take a calculus class, engineering, or anything like that, architecture, you're going to need to know some trig. So the journal is 30% of your grade.
Classwork, participation is 10%. I rarely give homework. You don't need a binder. You might want a little folder or something to put your worksheets in. Pencils, colored highlighters. Some people like to take really fancy notes. Dry erase markers on the day of the test. I provide them, but you might want to bring your own because sometimes I forget to replenish them and they get a little dried out. Here's why we use dry erase markers. You'll notice I don't have desks. I have tables. And these tables are covered in dry erase board. You are allowed to take any notes you want. the day of the test, you're allowed to write down any notes you want on that dry erase board during the test. You heard me. Casio FX 115 ES Plus, that's this scientific calculator here. It's currently $20 at Walmart. Now, you don't have to go out and get one. I have a classroom set of them. But if you're taking the SAT or ACT, you're going to want to have this calculator. I can't afford to be loaning them out. Access to a computer, smartphone with internet capability is always helpful. Our textbook, this big, monstrous pre-calculus, enhanced with graphing utilities, 6th edition by Sullivan and Sullivan. I think it's on the county website. You can go ahead and look at it. I won't be giving you the book. This book, I think, is $185 if you don't hand it back in. If you want a book, you can sign one out, but you better bring it back. It's about, like I said, $185. I get most of my material from this book anyway. This course is designed to raise your ACT, SAT score, or PERC score, and springboard you into college algebra, methods of calculus, survey of calculus, Calc 1, business calculus. It's highly recommended, and here it comes.
That you dual enroll during this school year. I can't emphasize that enough. All students are required to take the midterm. Seniors are exempt from the final if they meet their requirements. That's their days of absences are counted. If they exceed their absences, then they have to take and pass, get at least a D on the final. Extra help, a video review is available for every test and quiz. And I'm available after school from 2:50 to 3:15 and during lunch B. Cell phone policy, again, not allowed to have them out if you're using them inappropriately. That being said, you should have several apps on your cell to be more successful in mathematics. So Photomath, Desmos, and Triangle Solver are my 3 highly recommended ones. Photomath used to be really bad. It's come a long way. A really good application. Some things I do as a teacher, I give you a review for tests and quizzes. I complete the review again on YouTube and send it to your phone via Google Classroom. I grade tests immediately. If you take a test on Thursday, you'll have the grade Monday. If you take a test on Friday, you'll have the grade Tuesday. I grade them immediately. You'll know your score the next class. I allow tests to be retaken. So let's say, again, you got a really low grade, like a 20%. I put a 50% in the grade book, but it really hampers your score. I'll let you come back and do a retake. But the highest you're allowed to get on the retake is an 81%. I give you my cell phone, you and your parents, 561-350-8332. People rarely use it. I give you a test called the PERC here at Olympic Heights, the 2 days prior to Thanksgiving break. You need the PERC in order to place into college algebra your first semester of college. If you don't have a really good placement score, they'll make you take a class that doesn't have any college credit, such as intermediate algebra or I forget the other one, really low-level math class. You don't even want to take intermediate algebra. You want to jump right into college algebra or a calculus class. I help dual enrollment students from 2:50 to 3:30 every day after school. SAT, ACT prep is offered the Friday prior to the test in my classroom from 3:15 to 5:30. I'm going to have you sign this permission to view rated material. I show some YouTube videos once in a while. I'll never just show a video like a movie during class. We don't do that in here. The reason I have you sign this is because some of the YouTubers, not in class, I might recommend a YouTuber for you to watch, like if you're going to be an engineer. I'll give you some advice and tell you to go watch this YouTuber. If you want to be a computer science person, a programmer, I'll give you advice to tell you to watch this YouTuber. And that person, when you're at home, he might use some really bad language, but it's usually a good resource. I've already vetted it and watched it and gone through it. But I don't have every student being an engineer. I don't have every student being a nurse. I do a lot of I recommend a lot of videos to students that want to be nurses, psychiatrists, psychologists, stuff like that. And those YouTubers sometimes use some inappropriate language. So if you're at home and you're watching one of the videos that I recommended, that's usually why I have you do this. The material in the class is usually pretty bland, not that edgy. Again, it's usually stuff that I recommend you watch at home on your own to help you in your particular area of expertise. Dress code is strictly enforced. I usually won't call you out in front of your classmates. I'll just email Miss Durden and she'll come by and get you. With that being said, we like to lighten up the mood here a little bit in my pre-calculus class. If you had Mr. Niger, you'll understand last year he had a thing called Tropical Friday. For me, every Wednesday, we wear pink. So on Wednesdays, we wear pink. I'm sure some of you know someone who's had to fight with cancer, so out of respect, promote awareness, cancer awareness. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. They also said that in a mathematical movie called Mean Girls. So on Wednesdays, we wear pink. And on Friday, to lighten up the mood, every Friday in here, I'm going to be wearing a tropical shirt. That's right, every Friday is Tropical Friday, so you come in Friday, I'll be wearing this tropical shirt. It's not required, it's just something we do once in a while on every Friday to lighten up the mood. Hope we have a good year this year. Let's do some math, and let's save the world.